pocket.
Trading cards too, maybe with a trading cards.
Yeah, trading cards. Oh, here's the other cool thing for the detonator. Okay, so it already has the groove set in there for you to do the painting. Okay, and the end caps are basically just a vacuum piece that'll fit in here. What I would recommend is turning it upside down. Put a little bit of glue down into the valley area, see it glue? Just put it in there and letting that rest. Okay, do the other side, same thing. I'm letting that rest. And when it's glued in place, you're going to just take it to the belt sander, and you're just going to do it so that the edging is flat. If you notice here, there's no lip to it. So you just want to get rid of the lip completely. And if you needed to sand it or bond to it all, then you can. And when it comes to painting, just make sure the gray area is what you're focusing some of the gray paint on. And another little cool thing, let me grab the back here. In the belt itself, can you see that? It's already recessed so that the detonator will cradle in there. Okay? Nice. And what's cool about it is, it's hard to tell, but it's actually slightly lower. It's not centered, it's slightly lower because that's how what I've seen. And so when it's in place, you see a little bit more of the top of the belt, a little less of the bottom. Just a little bit. But there's also little dimples right there where you're going to drill through to mount the detonator. Okay? You want to try to have the detonator's grooves line up within the box and with the slits on the butt. That's where it's going to go. If you notice, it should be pretty well centered between those. Okay?
So what's holding the screws in?
Okay, so they are steel screws. They're machine screws. Okay, so they're not they don't have a tapered point, but they are machine screws. So they're fine thread, but they're just threaded into the detonator. So you want to make a small hole into here, and the detonator itself becomes like the nut.
So you can't put anything inside.
No, you got all the pocket area here and there, and I just figured the detonator is just.
Oh no, in terms of assembly, so you.
Oh,
put
right.
the ends on first.
Because you're going to put the end caps on, so there's no way to get in.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
I mean, you can, if you want to rig something up, there's no stopping anybody from coming up with other ideas. This is just.
Red alert! Red alert! Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's how you assemble it.
Yeah, this is how I assemble. So I'm just going to give you some of the things that I've done that I know work, but yeah, feel free to put your own experience into it.
Okay.
So, I think, let's see. I think we've covered most of the armor parts. Any questions on anything as far as the assembly goes?
Did you cover doing all the straps and all that?
Yeah. Let me go over that a little bit more. So, the tabs, okay. You're going to cut these out of extra piece of plastic that comes with the kit. Okay. If I remember correctly, they're about 2 inches wide, 2.5 inches in length. Okay. I rounded the tops, and I actually bent them slightly in a vise, just to give me a little bit more clearance. And then I've cut little slits in them to make sure that the I'll try to open this up. So it's got little slits in here to make sure that the jaws of the suspenders really lock in there. You don't want to clamp them just on plastic alone. They'll slide out. They really got to have that little cut in there for them to stay in place. And the places you want to glue them is, so here's the front, right? Yeah. So in the boxes on each side of the center boxes, okay, and then the boxes on each side of where the detonator goes. So that gives you pretty much a nice centered location. The other cool thing is, if you notice, the suspenders are put on backwards.
Yeah, I was just noticing that.
Okay, suspenders are put on backwards so that you can actually reach the clips. Okay, so you can reach them from front to back. So there's a reason for that. Because if you do them the other way, it becomes too thick and you can't reach down, you can't undo them. So yeah, go ahead and put these on inside out, I guess you could say. Something I guess he hasn't done yet that I will mention. So once you're at the final, you got a question? Oh, I'm sorry. So once you're at the final end, that's when you're going to do your final adjustment of your ab piece we talked about, right? Because your ab you can cut based on the length of your torso. Okay. Another cool thing would be to make sure that your ab piece doesn't ride up or down. Go ahead and sew some Velcro here, and actually Velcro your ab in place. So when you go to put this on, you're gonna have that piece already on. You're gonna like suck your belly in and try to like keep the suspenders away from the ab piece, slide the ab piece down, and then push your belly out, and that's what's just gonna lock it in place. So that it doesn't twist on you that much. I mean, it'll twist with your suspenders because they're gonna twist with your body too, but you won't have it creeping up on you. It's what's going to lock it down in place. I think that covers pretty much most of the armor.
Helmet?
Yeah, we can move on to helmet, definitely.
Do we want to talk about painting at the very end?
Yeah, we can do painting at the very end. Did everybody here get a Grunt helmet? Or ARF helmet?
Mm-hmm.
What are we working on?
I got a Grunt.
Grunt? What do you...
Grunt.
Grunt and... Both. And both. Okay, well we'll talk about the Grunt first then. So,
Love how you did the lens.
thank you.
No glue, just put it in there. That is so cool.
Yeah, if you've looked at my website, basically I've made it pretty clear that this helmet does not need glue to assemble. Absolutely no glue.
Yeah.
It kind of impressed myself. It kind of worked out that way. And there's not a lot of trimming you got to do. This is probably going to be one of the easiest helmets to assemble that I'll probably ever make. I don't know if I could make any other ones as simple as this one. Basically, the visor and the little square indication inside your ears is all you need to cut out. Okay, don't cut those little pieces out there because they already have the illusion of depth that they need. If you cut it through, what happens is because this is rotocast, the slushing is a little uneven and it builds up in the corners, so these will become looking twice as thick than what they should if you cut through. All right, and it's extra work for you. It's not going to give you any extra flow because it's only 1.5 inches away from a large opening, so you're already going to get enough air from the bottom here. As we were mentioning, the visor is not glued in; it snaps into place. So there's the fine areas of where air will get in and keep you from fogging. So when I trooped in the helmet, I had zero fog, zero heat issues because of being nice and open and the visor giving enough gappage around, I didn't fog up. The first thing you're going to want to do is the center hole in the square piece. You want to drill that out with a 1/4 inch drill bit, and the square area, just use a square file and square it up. What you're going to be doing is you want, do you have yours opened?
No, I don't.
Can I open yours?
Sure. It's right behind you, behind the visor.
Okay. Alright, so this comes with extra hardware. You don't need everything that comes in this bag. Basically, this piece, I don't know what it is, but you don't need it. Okay? And this little plastic thing here, you don't need that. Save it for something else. The square, I'm sorry, the gray piece that has the square is your whole point. You want to try to make that square large enough for this to fit in, but try not to make it too big. Like, keep checking. You really want this to have a nice little snap-in tight fit. Okay, it'll just make the assembly process a little bit easier. If it's a little loose, whatever, it's not going to hurt it. But the tighter it is, the better it'll be as far as the assembly goes. And these metal pieces, they're quite dome-shaped. Okay, if you can take a hammer and just flatten them out a little bit. Reason being is this is going to go through the helmet. This is going to be on the inside. You're going to have it go together like this. With that having so much of a dome, it doesn't really allow a lot of bite of the threads. So by flattening it out just a little bit, there's a little bit more bite of the threads for the neural nut to lock on. Okay. So basically, when this goes together, the material of the helmet is going to be sandwiched between the gray piece and the metal. Okay. if you're going to be using the headband, okay, because this is set up so you have the choice to use the headband or not. Depends on the size of your head. Not everybody's going to be able to use the headband. It does adjust to different sizes in the back here, which is a nice bonus. If you're going to be using the headband, again, you're going to put the gray piece through. And in the headband, there's a little bit of a line of some sort. You want the indication of the metal piece, I'll show you here, to lock into that. Okay? Okay? So, with this coming through, and then again, so now this and this will now be through the material of your helmet, right? So this is on the inside, your helmet's going to be sandwiched in between, and again you put the neural nut on the inside, and that's what's going to help lock it in. One other thing that I've done that I think helps stabilize the headband is I put a little piece of Velcro here, and then on the inside of the helmet where this rests just above the indication of the ear, it kind of touches right there. Put the other piece of Velcro on both sides, and that's just going to help stabilize it so that the helmet doesn't tilt up and down a lot while you're wearing it. Let's see here. So we've got the headband kind of figured out how that will assemble. Let me back up a little bit so that we could deal with in the order of the assembly to make sure that we're getting what needs to be done first before you paint it. Okay? You have the ear caps. Okay? So the ear caps come with the kit. You have to make sure this gray piece is put in before you put these caps in. Okay? This gray piece will give you the correct offset so that these ear caps are sticking out right. Okay. There is a little tiny triangular notch in the ear caps. Make sure that that's facing towards the eye lens. Okay, because they're not even. There's thicker and thinner portions to the cap.
Is there a left and a right? Or?
Nope, no left and a right.
As long as
it's the front and the back.
The notch.
Right, as long as the notch is painted towards the front. Okay, so you've got the gray piece in your ear cap. You push them in. Don't put your headband in. Let's pretend your visor's already cut out, but the lens is not put in. Okay, you have to paint it with your ear caps in place. If you paint it and then you try to put your ear caps in, it won't fit. It is such a tight fit. If you've got any paint in here, they won't fit. Okay. If you forgot and you painted it, you're going to have to clean all that paint out just to get them fit because they snap in. You got to kind of put a lot of force and they'll snap in.
Are they snap in or glue in or both? Snap in only.
Yeah, these are the exact measurement of this inner portion here. So yeah, you just pressure snap. Then at that point, you have your lens already cut out. Your ear caps are put in place. Then you can go ahead and you can paint it. So when it's all done painting, you'll put your headband in place because the little gray screws be sticking out. Put your headband in place, and the lens. I've got the template up on my website. So you make the template. The lens will basically snap in. If I can explain here. So these two halves will be butted to each other, right? And that gap that it has in between there, okay, that will help the visor lock into place near the headband. Okay, the bottom portion will lock into place from this lip that I've created here. So it basically, I didn't bring my helmet. Nobody has one. You don't have the lens cut or anything or something. Okay. So what you wanted to, I know. So I mean, yeah, you want to basically snap the lens in last. So your headband would be in place. The lens template is designed to lock into the nut there that holds the headband. Like again, if you don't use the headband, that's fine, but you'll need to still use this hardware so it'll help the headband lock into place. Something that I just kind of thought as I was trooping, and John had mentioned it. If your face feels really close to the helmet, and you've got room to maybe back this out and wear it, you can add more padding to the front of the headband so that it forces your head a little bit further back. Okay. You know, I mean, your nose is probably going to get close to the visor when you're using the headband because of this adjustment. It kind of forces your face a little bit closer towards the lens area. So without this, you can, you know, add padding where you want to kind of equalize the helmet from front to back.